Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi. A very, very, very warm welcome to all the parents out there. We are starting with our session today. So I'm hoping that more parents are joining with us. And our today's topic, we will just briefly begin by introducing today's topic, which is understanding my child's temper tantrums and ways to manage it. So I think it's 4 o'clock that we start our session. And before we begin, I think I'll just briefly start telling about BabyChakra and how my journey began with BabyChakra. My name is Ishani, and I am a child and adolescent psychologist and also a family therapist. I work with parents, children, adolescents, right from early childcare programs to actually working with adolescents as in how they grew up, and also frequently integrating family as the most important pivotal who is in the child's life. So welcoming all of you, आपका सबका स्वागत है. And a little bit again about Baby Chakra. I'm sure we all are aware, but I think for some of the new parents who have joined in, Baby Chakra is India's top parenting app, and it's like a one-stop solution for all your parent queries, right from the first birthday of the child till as in how he or she grows up, from doctors, pediatrician, nutritionists, lactation experts, anything and everything, or even psychologists like me. Anything that you might need with regard to your child, I think Baby Chakra is the one-stop solution and platform for all kind of queries, and it helps you connect. It builds a platform where you can connect with parents, with fellow parents, discuss your queries, which is wonderful because it's such an open and transparent medium. So many times as parents, we are stuck somewhere. We want solution for our kids and we look around, and especially I think in a quarantined time like this where we really need that support, social support from our fellow parents, other than the group we have and the family members. So I think it's just brilliant how we can connect through this platform of Baby Chakra across with the parents, not just sitting in one corner of the city, but across India, and you can have concerns being discussed in a very, very safe space. So I think kudos to Baby Chakra for creating this platform where parents can connect with each other. You can, as I spoke about, you can definitely connect with professional specialists in the field of child and developmental healthcare, mental health care, doctors, pediatricians, nutritionists, lactationists, expert, and also psychologists taking care of the mental health of the children. So I think it's 4 o'clock, and let's officially begin. Our today's topic is understanding ways to figure out my child's temper tantrums and ways to manage it. Again, a big hello to all of you. My name is Ishani, and I'm going to take you through the journey of rekindling with your child, really understanding your child, where the child is coming from when the temper tantrums come aboard. And I'm a child and adolescent psychologist. So hopefully I am credible enough here to answer all your queries. I hope that all your questions or queries are found a solution here. So I think let's begin. First of all, when we talk about temper tantrums, they come in all shapes and sizes. And I think when we think about parenthood, the first thing which is like a traumatic fear in the eyes of each of these parents are envisaging these temper tantrums. इनके बारे में सोचना ही हमको एक नाइटमेयर लगता है कि क्या होगा जब हम मार्केट जाएंगे और हमारा बच्चा जिद करेगा और हम उसकी जिद को अगर नहीं पूरा कर पाए, या अननेसेसरी डिमांड बच्चे की, या फिर अ स्मॉल किड throwing things at home, expressing his anger through spreading everything, shouting, screaming, kicking. Well, welcome to parenthood and welcome to the world of temper tantrums. But just to really clarify that temper tantrums are extremely normal, and they are nothing to worry about really in an extreme end about your child, because it is a part of the developmental trajectory of the child. Every child who's growing up, he's developing a set of physical, cognitive, social, emotional, language skills. जैसे जैसे बड़ा होता है बच्चा, उसकी फिजिकल स्किल्स जैसे डेवलप होती है, उसी तरीके से उसकी कॉग्निटिव स्किल्स, उसकी मानसिक क्षमताएं, इमोशंस, वो इक्वली डेवलप होते हैं. सो टेम्पर टैंट्रम्स आर मियरली अ मैनिफेस्टेशन ऑफ दिस डेवलपमेंटल ट्रैजेक्टरी, इस ग्रोथ का, जिसकी वजह से बच्चे कहीं ना कहीं अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. सो I think beginning on this positive note today, rather than looking at temper tantrums very negatively for our child, but also starting to look at it positively from this end, that all kids go through it. We've also gone through as kids, and it's genuinely a part of their growing up. तो जैसे जैसे हम टेम्पर टैंट्रम्स की बात करते हैं, आई थिंक इट्स इंटरेस्टिंग टू अंडरस्टैंड इट एज वाइज. जब हम डेवलपमेंटली अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर की बात करते हैं, दिस इज ऑल्सो अ पार्ट ऑफ द ट्रैजेक्टरी. तो अगर हम उसको डिवाइड करें डेवलपमेंटली, सो आई थिंक फर्स्ट स्टार्टिंग विद, here we have what is called as baby tantrums, which is most often seen in 12 to 24 months old. You might have often seen your child, in especially towards the second year of life, moving towards the second year, really cry, cranky, having so many emotional outbursts. So, parents, welcome to the baby toddlerhood and baby tantrumhood world of the child. And it is this point in time that the child has a very limited language skill. Abhi tak to aayi hi nahi hoti. The kids are still at, some of them are their sounds, some of them are at their little one words. So over and all, the child still hasn't developed that system of being able to communicate his or her needs. Often in these kids, you might find them crying really hard, really breaking over their head for you, and having like complete big outbursts when they are not at ease. Usually at this age, because kids have a limited set of language skills, they communicate, they emote their expressions through these tantrums, and they are nothing but their insight, ability to communicate that they are disturbed. So most likely, जहाँ तक baby tantrums की बात है, अक्सर ये इसलिए होती है 12 to 24 में, बिकॉज किड्स आर एक्सप्रेसिंग देयर डिस्कम्फर्ट. चाहे वो हंगर हो, चाहे वो स्लीप हो, चाहे वो एक डिस्टर्बेंस हो, हमारे आसपास के जितने भी इमोशनल ओवरवेलमेंट है हमारे इन्वायरमेंट की वजह से, एक्सट्रीम साउंड्स, कुछ भी, एनी सेंसरी ओवरवेलमिंग that can be disturbing for the child because he cannot verbalize in so many words. The child often use crying and howling as a medium to express their emotional needs. So baby tantrums start from 12 to 24 years, and they are mostly to communicate these basic needs of emotion and care. The need, they want somebody to attend to them. So ज़्यादातर इस एज ग्रुप के बच्चे रोते इसलिए इतनी जोर जोर से, और they would really howl or cry because they want somebody to attend to them. Next in the developmental trajectory is the toddler tantrums. And as we can see, it is from 2 to 4 years, and you can see here kick, paw, meltdowns. How it changes in this age group from baby tantrums to switching to toddler tantrums, 2 to 4 years, you will often find suddenly, now that your child has more language skills coming in, he's more mobile, the child has physically developed hands, body, there is more movement, you will find your child kicking, breaking things, throwing things, or just kicks and paws. Now what happens is the temper tantrum has switched into a meltdown, which is usually because the child wants something and he's not given attention to. So in that scenario, the child has learned. Once he cried, once he threw a tantrum, he threw a meltdown where he was just lying on the floor pe baith ke, tange marna. We all remember that Shinchan image of our kids in front of us, kicking, pawing, and really doing that entire drama of it's just because they want something. Slowly now they have realized that every action they do has an equal and opposite reaction. Their actions are being recognized. So they've seen mummy from a distance. Once I'm crying, I'm, kind of throwing things, breaking things, kicking away things, and lying on the floor. He's seen mummy come from a distance and really immediately give all the attention in the world. तो उनकी तो वो एक तो नीड फॉर अटेंशन फुलफिल, और पता है कि मम्मी हैज कम, एंड नाउ all of us have, as mothers, most likely done that, given into the temper tantrum because we want our child to calm down. So most likely the kids by this time have become real smart. Mommies, remember, and fathers also, they have become super smart cognitively. They have become very sharp. Their brain development has super speeded, and 2 to 4 years is the time they also go into their preschools, and they're engaging with so many children. They see so much, they observe so much, so they have learned, if I have something I want to be agreed to, I'm going to throw a meltdown and I'm going to give a tantrum. So this becomes the toddler tantrum age group, because अब verbal भी हो रहे हैं, movement is at its peak. I can move around, I can run around, I can jump around, I can throw things. So this is the time you need to understand that your child is in the toddler tantrumhood age, and is doing so because, one, he needs attention full on. Second, he wants whatever he wants come to him his way right there. So we'll address how to take care of all of that, but just to understand that it's nothing more, but it's a part of the growing developmental trajectory of the child. He's also becoming more aware. He's making sense of things. He's understanding cause and effect relationships. तो उसको पता चल गया है कि आज मैंने ये tantrum throw करा and mummy is going to come rushing to me. So remember where your child is. And then the childhood tantrums, which is usually from 4 to 6 years. Now this one, now our kids have become really intelligent. Okay, 4 to 6 years, well, they are smart ones, and this time is the power struggle. It is genuinely the time when the kid wants it their way. They want to control their environment way more than they can. But yes, now I am in the child's head. I am grown up, and their abilities are also at full speed. Language bhi aa gayi, speech bhi aa gaya. I am more equipped. I know how to handle my things, how to manipulate. Yes, parents, at this point in time, your kid is super manipulative and super smart. So they want a power in their hands because they feel that now they have become more mobile. Now they have control over things. In the earlier phase, they were still in that phase where they needed mummy. But now 4 to 6, it's still that childhood tantrums where now they are quite equipped. They don't even need mummy, but what they need is a power struggle. They test your boundaries, they test your patience, and you might just have them struggle for power. They will suddenly have so many whims and fancies, or aise nahi karna, waise nahi karna, where earlier it was just so much more about how the parents are taking me forward, what they are saying. But by this time, the kids have their well developed choices, likes, dislikes, and they really test your boundaries. They want to test for how much power or how much can they control their environment, and there's often a struggle. So this is the time of childhood tantrums. Again, to reiterate that and to remind that all of this is absolutely normal and every child goes through it. As mothers, I know it's really worrying, and when especially you're in a public space and your child is throwing a tantrum, you don't know how to handle it, you just feel so exasperated, na gussa aata hai and agitated. But remember, they're all flowing through a phase. As much as they are developing cognitively, unka brain develop kar hai, they're also developing emotionally, and they're testing waters with you, who's parent, you're the anchor, and you're the safe space. So how we can use these spaces to make them more neutral and make them more safe for our child, even though they're testing these emotions, yet it can become safer for them. Right. So now that we understand the different phases of temper tantrums, even after childhood tantrums, as kids go into middle age and adolescence, the only thing that changes is the way the tantrums evolve. You might find your teenager, if there are parents of teenagers, oh my God, throwing full tantrums of what they want, what they don't want. It's just that now they're super evolved. and they have all, they're going to schools, they're going to colleges, and now they want to exert. So even as adolescents or adults, these tantrums still remain. We all also have a set of tantrums, they don't change. But let's understand what is the underlying reason. We all want to be heard, we all want whatever we are feeling to be addressed to. So be it any age group or time, we're always wanting someone else to have attention on us. So the attention becomes the core for all the temper tantrum. It's all about the attention game. So let's see how, now that we understand somewhere the developmental, grouping and trajectory, why, where our children are, let's try to understand that what can we do? What is it that we can really, really do for our children before a temper tantrum like this has happened? How can it be, like I spoke about, we can create safer spaces that, something like this is already avoided. Like we can avoid such temper tantrums. First thing, give plenty of positive attention to your child before any of this starts developing also. So what do you mean by positive attention? Positive attention is that for the smallest of things, be it really small as just picking up your plate and putting it in the kitchen, or just doing the any smallest thing that your baby has done. Suppose he's kicked today, supposing he has just picked up the ball and given to you. Just appreciate your child so much when they are doing something right, when they're doing something positive. Really highlight that in front of your child. So sometimes a lot of these children are acting out, or they are really throwing tantrums because, and again, the underlying premise is maybe either you're working or you're somewhere else, and the baby is with the say the maid or another caretaker. The child wants to be heard, the child wants to be seen from you. So most of the times they might throw off this temper tantrum just to get that attention. Like I said, attention is the game. Even if we grow up as adults, we want that attention. So when you are with your kid, create that space, be it half an hour, 15 minutes of special playtime or special attention to your child, where you are just with the child one to one. There's full attention, and really, really appreciate them, give them positive attention for everything in the day that they have done. You could also maintain a diary with your child. If your child is still very young, you could keep those memories, encash them, make a book for yourself, so that when the child also grows up, he's able to see that this is what I did. And that can be either your memory book of positive memories, happy memories. Give lots and lots of positive attention to your child. Then also, I think, try to give your toddlers or your little ones some control, because when they are growing up, they're also engaging with the environment. And let's accept it, we all want some kind of control, or something that we are doing, it's driven by us. So I think we could give them small control in little ways, wherein, for example, you could give them choices that, do you want to brush right now just after dinner, or you would want to take a half an hour and then brush your teeth? Or say, do you want to have orange juice today, or do you want to have apple juice? So simple basic choices. Just try it and start giving your child those choices back home in the most basic of things. So what would happen is, for a child, be it a toddler, be it a childhood, a child who's say 4 to 6 years, or even the younger one. So a lot of mothers have come to me with picky eaters, picky concerns that they don't want to have. Try it. Just give your child a chance. Say, if you have a picky eater, put 2 3 things item in front of them. Let them make a choice what they want to eat. Let them touch it, let them lick it. Even if they make a messy play out of it, for really the younger ones, it's all right. Mess sometimes is really, really all right, believe me, because it is through their mess, through this hands-on engagement, that they learn what is it that they really need. Sometimes I think it's a very Indianized culture. We keep roping in so much on our children, the khana hai, itna khana hi, itna sona hi. But sometimes the child is our better guide, and he knows better. And the more we push, the more he feels compelled, and he feels that he's constantly pushed against, there is no control. And the moment You start giving your child little exposures like this, little choices. Do you want the roti in circle today? Do you want the roti in a square shape? Just connect it back to their life and what they're doing, and believe me, you'll find your children more calm. They will be more relaxed, and they will not have so many turbulent emotions coming in, reacting out. Just give them that choice. And what you can do is you can keep things which can become a source of tantrums, or which are unsafe for your child, and they can throw and pick. Just clear that space, as much as you can. Work on your environment, and you can keep those things off limit with your child. I think it will really solve half the battle. You won't have to worry. Say you're working somewhere, you won't have to worry what my child is doing. Is he safe, is he not safe? And even for that matter, if a child does have, say, a temper tantrum at that time, but if he doesn't find those things to break, to kind of throw, well, what is he going to do? Maximum scream, shout, but at least he's safe. The child is safe. You've already saved one part of the tantrum, and you've already made that safe space for him. So you could also work around that. And also try picking your battles. Sometimes our kids have so many demands which are constantly on our head, and they have so many questions, they have so many emotions, that as mothers, as parents, as fathers, I'm sure you're super exhausted. So just think through why your child is making such a demand. What is the reason for his questions? What is the reason for him bringing up something like this? And the more you think about that, the more you connect with it, you'll realize that some things, yes, definitely, maybe it is his age, he wants to experiment. And let your child make a mess and experiment. I'll repeat again, if that is where it is coming from, please let your child do it, and choose your battles. Decide what you need to focus on, and decide, okay, fine, maybe today I can let it go. So the more you do that, you compartmentalize it better for yourself. You choose your battles, you reduce your own stress, and it also goes lesser to the children, because children are like sponge, believe me. The more exasperated, worked up, जितना हम परेशान होते हैं, बच्चे उतना उसको या तो फायदा उठाते, they know mummy is today in that mode, let me trouble her more. Or they pick up that from us also. These over burnouts, these overarching emotions, they pick it up, and they start taking it as a way of life, of expression. They start thinking that this is the way to express. If they see their parents or somebody at home really shouting, be it at the maids also, kids really look at it. So parents, I know it's difficult, and especially at this time and there's so much going on, but you can try it out. Be a little more mindful of how you are, how composed you are, because the more composed you are, the better your child will be, the more relaxed your child will be. But if you yourself are very worked up, constantly restless, constantly itchy, constantly, it's really easy to snap out. Your kids pick that up, and they think that this is the right way to express themselves. Especially the young ones, they're extremely impressionable, and they just look up to you. So I think if we can work somewhere around that, we can already, before the tantrums have begun, we can save themselves from kind of going in that direction. And most importantly, I think this is also the perfect opportunity when we are with our child so much. Get in tuned with your child. Talk to your child if it's an elder child, or if it's, say 4 to 6, or even 2 to 6 year old little ones. Even if they are, in 12 to 24 months, just talk to them, say nice thing to them. Spend that calming time with them. Read out stories which have beautiful morals to them. So sometimes stories are so beneficial. You don't really need to tell your child what to do, but through role plays, through stories of this character that they really can get inspired from. And you could also, with your young ones, get them acquainted from a very young age. Put in their ears soft lullabies, very calming music, and things like that. When you do it from a very early age, if with kids you create that space of meditation, even for yourself. Your child may not be really sitting and doing meditation, but yes, your child is hearing that calming music. He's hearing those that music which is really making him soothe down. really slow down. So I think in your special time with your child, you could also create that space. You could have some essential oils in home running in. You could let that fill the ambience of your house, and that really really impacts. Sit with your child, discuss what is it that is bothering you, baby, what is it that's bothering you, child. And sometimes in their little language, when you discuss with them, they feel they have a friend. And right now these kids have no friends because all of them are locked in. So become their friends, play with them, get in tune with your child, and really really start connecting them, that if they're reacting, or if they are most, what are the incidents that they are most likely to get angry with, or it upsets them. The more you do that, you'll start understanding their pattern, and you'll automatically as a parent know where to kind of switch it, where to kind of change the situation, or where should I step in. So the more you do that, I think the more you'll be able to change things around. And also, it's much better from very very young age. Believe me, kids, there are research studies. Kids who have grown up listening to mindful music, calm healing music, they grow up to be more restrained. And let's see, what is our agenda of working on these tantrums is that our kids are able to regulate themselves, they're able to regulate their emotions. So when from a very early age we do that, we also in tune that, we sow that seed of keeping calm, being more relaxed, keeping a tab of our emotions. Even if we are angry, we can try being breathing over it, relaxing over it. You can really do this. And with the children, you could pick up their toys, you could pick up their teddy bears and show to the teddy, through the teddy, show how the teddy is in, say he had a fight with his mama, or he had a fight with his friend. When they took the toy away, or the elder brother, who they were playing together, the elder one took the toy away, how the teddy so smartly, he solved the solution without fighting, without screaming, and first breathing, first relaxing. So you could actually emanate the process of breathing and show it on the teddy. The kids really, especially, they are very very fascinated with their toys, and they learn the most. So using those stories and engaging their toys can be extremely extremely wonderful. And also, it's the perfect opportunity, like we are talking about. What is the idea of managing these temper tantrums is we also switch it and convert it for an opportunity for our kids to learn new skills. So also, when you set an example in front of your child, when in, say, a very overwhelming situation at home, you show it to your child, you emanate, because kids are constantly observing us. So when you are more regulated in your actions, you provide them a chance to learn a new skill. And also, when you have a dialogue, when you discuss, so just discuss, mommy had a fight with the didi today, didi was just not listening to mama, and mama was so tired, mama was so angry. You could also use those wonderful emojis that are available, or you could make smiley faces. Let your child connect. Please, from a very early age, start explaining to your child, identify, let them identify with the different emotions: happy, sad, angry. And they're really looking at it in their cartoons every day. So let them have a discussion around it, let them express their anger, let them identify with it. The more we do it, the greater we are increasing the chances for them to regulate their action, learn something new. So you could, if you've created a chart with them of smileys, just point to this smiley. And if it's a younger kid, make it more concrete, that mama sad today, in their language, in the slice that they would understand. And then what did mama do? Have discussions around them. The more you do when they're in a relaxed space, when they're happy mood, the greater the kids are learning this, and they're imbibing, because they're all making sense of the world, how the world operates. So when they see things like this, they quickly put it in their kitty. They quickly make that a way of life, versus we're trying to teach them one thing, that you have to be very calm and relaxed, but on the other end, we are showing them a different picture, so they get confused, they don't know what to do, and then they tend to react more because they are so confused. They cannot find one way around it. They often have displaced thoughts, perceptions, and identities in their head. So they just choose what impulsively comes to them at that point in time, which is just reacting out. So I think before a temper tantrum comes, you can build that safe space with your child by engaging in all these ways. and know your child's limit. The more you will interact, the more you in tuned with your child, you will know what really triggers. You will understand his triggers better. You will able to understand his limits better and reduce that gap. And really, also keep a check the cartoons they are seeing these days. You could also have them. There are these wonderful books, even audiobooks that are coming these days. You can make them hear these stories, make them see these characters, in stories, in videos, which are really emanating, which are really displaying a very good moral and way of life, and they will learn the best and most from it, from you and these cartoons. So I think before a tantrum, you can definitely do all of this. Now comes what happens when a tantrum occurs. First thing, moms, what is it that we are trying to do with our child when tantrum comes? We want them to learn control. We want them to be calm. How will that happen? If we are calm. I know it's really difficult, but it comes with practice. The more you practice with your kid, first you be calm, first you be composed, and please, you have to get rid of this forbidden word, no. The moment we say this word, it's like a magical fire. It springs up within the child even more energy. The moment you say no to your child, done. They are going to repeat that even more and more. Why this happens? Let's just try to understand why a no would not work, and why it is not useful to say that to your child. Because first thing, and I have seen all the kids, the first words they learn is no, because they've heard it so much, but they don't know what no means. It's just that they just have learned it, that anything everybody says to get rid of it or to run away, no. But they don't understand the context, they don't understand the impact of it. So rather than telling no, no implies, it's just very very whimsical. The child doesn't know what no means and usko kya nahi karna, he has no idea. But the more you start telling your child what is to be done, so say the child is really kicking and breaking things and just running around, prevent yourself. It comes very naturally from a no, but tell your child, say, hey Krish, you're running all over, look what you're doing, everything around is breaking. What you could do, it looks like you're feeling angry, it looks like you're feeling so and so. Are you feeling like that? So check in with your child. So once you're in tune with your child, you know that this trigger is happening because the child is disturbed or so and so has happened. So try to reiterate that to your child. Are you feeling angry? And you also, for some children, also I would bring into the purview special needs children. If they can't verbalize, you can always show them that canvas of emojis. Point to them, indicate to them, are you feeling any one of this? Would you like to point out what you're feeling? Ask them. And if they're not able to explain, it looks like you're feeling angry, it looks like you're upset, it looks like you're really bothered today. So once you do that, the child also feels understood immediately, that this is what my mother can understand it. And before that no has come, today it switched to, okay, I understand you're feeling this, and then tell them the right way to go about. So if you are feeling angry, if you are feeling upset, you could sit down, you could clench in your fingers really tightly, like you could do deep breathing. Let's take 5 breaths together. You could do it with your child simultaneously. So what has happened is, one, you have distracted your child already from engaging in that tantrum and whatever act he was doing, so he's already distracted. Second, the response the child was expecting, which was a big no, and the mother shouting in and really growling at him, has suddenly changed. So the child is also surprised. His schema would say, "Mummy will come, she'll shout at me, she'll run around me, da da da." The same thing will happen, but no, the child is equally surprised at your reaction today. So what happens? He is going to look at you. He's going to listen to you. But when he knows he's breaking things, mummy is going to come, it's almost like the same thing humming in his head. So he knows what is going to follow. Mummy is going to come, she's going to shout, he's going to run away from there, mummy is going to be after me. And then, as in how the temper tantrum begins to expand. So what has happened? We have just flipped the energy. We have flipped the narrative. What the child was expecting, we have completely flipped it. And it also helps to distract and save your child from further increasing or engaging with that temper tantrum in the very moment. And also, we are saving the child from learning no. Because then what happens is when they grow up, then they go to the school, and when teacher says something, they will very easily say no. And when the teacher complains, your child doesn't listen to me, will constantly just say no, no, no. And he doesn't take part in any activities. He wants to do everything on his own. Why? Because the child has learned it that this is the way of life. Whatever I want, I can simply say no and get away with. So let's try and rechange that narrative, which we are. It's very difficult. We have all grown up with. We find it very easy to come out of our mouth, but the more we practice it, the better our child is going to learn from us, and at the same time, it will give him a safer space for expression. And what happens is when you're also talking to your child, when you're asking your child to indicate what happened, rather than acting out, they are moving towards expressing it safely. They're able to control and regulate their emotion. So this is something which can really really work with your kid. And even if your kid is really small, say it's a toddler or even before that, continue to practice all this. It's not that your child will not get in. They very very, like I told you, they're like a sponge. They will carry the energy. They will catch what energy you're emanating. They will catch your response. They read the facial expression. Even the youngest of babies, even at 6 months, how do you know, how do you find that the kids are able to connect? Because they read the mom's face, they read the dad's face, they read their facial expression, and they're quickly to catch it. The body language is the biggest role in it. So let's work on our body language, let's work on our facial expression for the younger ones, and keep emanating with them. Keep emanating this. It looks like, oh, my baby, even it's a really chotu one, just tell them it looks like you are disturbed. And the more you in tune with them, you understand that are they crying or they're reacting out mostly out of hunger, there's lack of sleep, what is it? So I think that also brings me to a very important next point is understanding triggers. So before you also are reacting out to back to your child, then it's like a back and forth thing. It's the same cycle. Your child reacts, you react, it blows up big. However, if we try to mindfully see that where is it coming from, know and understand the triggers. So say it's a child who's really, just try to see what happened in the situation before a temper tantrum comes. Was the child hungry? Was the child sleepy? Or was it that the child wanted somebody to be with him, wanted to be heard, wanted to be played with? And the more you realize that, the more you check that situation before the temper tantrum has come, the more you'll be able to give a better reaction. So if it is that the child is hungry, is tired, it's coming from that basic need, calm your child down. Help them, give them comfort, give them a hug, give them a kiss, really comfort your child. However, if you see it's coming from, again, a power struggle, it's a desire that the child wanted, it's a wish, it's a zid that the child is doing, at that point in time, the first thing I think you all mothers and parents and fathers can really do is, first of all, do not give attention. Avoid. Again, it's a big role that attention plays. Do not react out. Even if your child is doing something out there, don't look at them. Just look away and just keep your calm. Your child is looking out for your reaction. Don't give them a reaction. What you got to do is just simply tell them that mommy will only understand, is can only help you. She can only hear you what you want. I know you want something. Let them know I know you want something. But it can only happen once you calm down, once you go relaxed, once you calm down. And like we discussed, you have already practiced with them in their safe space before how to calm down. So the more you work on helping them learn what is to be done and how to calm down, the more it will be effective when you're engaging with them, when you're interacting with them during a temper tantrum. So it's something you've already taught to them, so you can reiterate it. You can have posters in your house, you can have visuals in your house which indicate, or you could have a video you could play with your child at that moment, where you don't have to react, but just play that video and tell your child that we know how to be calm, we know it, we have seen it, let him see the video again. So what has happened? One, he's again distracted. Second, you are reiterating how to be calm. And tell your child, once you're calm, mummy will talk to you, mummy will listen to you, mummy will be here for you. And once your child has calmed down, then you listen to them, ask them what is bothering. However, have clear boundaries. If you give in today, you try to set that boundary, tomorrow you give in, third day, kids don't understand that. Then they will be as lost. And again, like I spoke about earlier, because they will be lost, they would not know what is the right or the wrong way. They would just act out of impulse. So have those clear boundaries. If you're deciding today that yes, I want to make a change how I engage with my child, I want to control his temper tantrums positively, then do so by having a consistent way. So again, every time that temper tantrums comes up, just avoid. Or say the child has just thrown something on the floor, just avoid. Tell him again, look away. Tell him you know how to get calmed. You can play the video. You can look at the poster. You can indicate to the visual that the child can immediately connect with. And after they've done that, what you can do is you can ask them very just quietly. Take your child's hand and pick all of that. Make him pick that up and put it back, whatever he's thrown on the floor or whatever he's spread. Just quietly do that and tell him gently after this is done that whenever we feel angry, we have other ways to express, which is by talking or by first becoming calm. So, what have you done? You have not done no, and you've not shouted at him, there is no blowout out there. You have one, first cut out the main attention that he seeked by not responding, by having a placid face. Second, you have corrected it without saying anything by making the child pick up. You've taught him what needs to be done and also reiterated how to be calm. Whether it could be breathing, or you could just, if you practiced that previously with your child, just show him, wherever he's acting out, sit in front of him, just breathe very nicely in front of him, breathe deeply in front of him, so he gets that cue, he gets that idea. You can keep giving cues, or you could have your environment where the child is full of cues, full of posters, full of these visuals that you can easily point out and address to your child in that moment of temper tantrum or where he's reacting out. You could do that. And especially when it's a space that it could be harm to the child or to another person, and if it's concern of safety, just very firmly, not hard, not with aggression, just hold your child's hand, just restrain him, hold his body or hold his hand, just restrain him there, so that that act of violently reacting out is paused, is controlled at that moment. And then you can take your child to a space away from the source of temper tantrum. Say it's happening in the drawing room, take your child to the room, sit with him quietly, ask him that mummy is going to sit with you, it's a time out for you, you have to breathe in, you have to sit. And even if your child is crying at that time, it's okay, sometimes it's okay to let your child cry. The more they cry, one, they are venting out their emotions in a safe space, and they know you're right there. Just tell them I'm right here and mummy is here to listen to you, but it's your time out time, and only when you calm yourself down, we'll be able to get out of this room. You're not doing something heinous to them, you're not being cruel to them, you're just helping your child learn how to control his emotions, how to regulate his emotions. And you believe me, these are crocodile tears. Your child will become quiet, he will quickly soothe down when he's crying, unless it's really emanating from a lot of overwhelmment, which you start understanding the more you closely look at the patterns and triggers of your child. So when it is that need for attention and power and things I want, that is usually emanating from a temper tantrum for need for attention and everybody to look at me and just make my need addressed at that point in time. So give him a timeout, give him that space, sit with him, tell him I'm here, both of us are here until you're not calmed down. Rather than you yourself setting in a timeline with him, give him that chance that you set that timeline. When you're okay, when you're ready, we can move back. And by distracting him, by removing him from the temper tantrum situation, like I said, if it's having in the drawing room, take him to the room, you're also saving the child from reacting more. And the energy that is created in that drawing room at that moment can be very, very harmful for the child subconsciously and for us also, because it triggers more and more anger in us and the child. So it's best to take your child away into a more calm, safe, neutral space. Give them the time out. When they are ready, come out with them, speak to them, talk to them. And if with this practice they learn to calm themselves down, you will believe me, I've had these mothers come to me and we've practiced this. Their kids have learned automatically. Now that they're having, they would just get up from that situation and go away and sit in that room, and when they're ready they would come out. And if you see, we are at this age, at this very tender age, we are preparing them for adult behaviors. Now we talk about that if you're emotionally overwhelmed, if there's something you don't have to really share, but it's really boiling within you, just cut yourself out from that very situation for some time, distract yourself. But why not teach these seeds in our child from a very early age? The more we do it, the more prepared and ready our child becomes. So again, timeout also works wonderfully for the kids. And after this has happened, after all of this has happened, you worked with your child post the temper tantrum. Now we're moving the post temper tantrum. Really go back and again give lots of positive attention to your child. That I loved it. I have seen that, even though you were so angry, but you tried. Appreciate their efforts. The more you do, the more motivated and reinforced they will be. I really appreciate your effort that you tried to calm yourself, even though you were so angry, you were on a blowout. Yet you tried, yet you were able to sit yourself in a calming space. And please remember, when you give a timeout, that space should be neutral. It should not be that the child has something more reinforcing over there, that that thing of timeout goes away. It's not a punishment. There's a difference between punishment and timeout. You tell your child also it's not a punishment, it's just a space for you to go relax yourself and do it yourself in your daily life. Your child, the more he sees you when you are angry or upset, it will definitely benefit you also. But your child is seeing, whenever you are overwhelmed, go sit in that room, or go sit in that chair which is calming and which is which helps you really relax, and give yourself that time out. The more your child sees, the better he will learn even more quickly. And post the temper tantrum, appreciate him, but don't reward him. There's a difference between appreciating and there's a difference between rewarding. Please don't get him candies, cookies, or whatever he wants. The child needs to learn that I will not always get what I want, and let him not learn another pattern that say I go to this room, I become quiet, and then when I come out, mommy gives me cookies, and then he learn this way. This is another way of reinforcing attention, that this is how I can get rewards. No, please be mindful that you appreciate him, you hug him. Let intangible means become the force of reinforcement. Acknowledge him. And when you acknowledge, please acknowledge for what he has done right. Let it not be in a more abstract way, let it not be confusing. Simple, concrete appreciation, because that will also help your child understand what is it that he's done right. And more we reinforce and emphasize on what is to be done in difficult situations and overwhelming situations. And make sure your child gets enough sleep, he's more relaxed, make him drink water, his all his vitals are in place. Because sometimes when our kids really shout out or react, they are still very young, their body is still very fragile, their vitals can go here and there. So make sure they get enough rest or they are calm. You could again play that calming music. It's the perfect time and space where you're already working through with your kid to help him relax, and this music can just be another cherry on the cake. So yes, that's about it from me today, and I hope that this has been very meaningful for you. Just remember, what is our agenda out of this temper tantrum is to help my child learn better ways of handling his emotions, because we all go through it and it's a part of our developmental trajectory, I would like to reiterate. And we're just helping them become anchors to manage these emotions better as they grow up. So the more calm we are, the more in tuned we are, the more we provide our child the opportunities, the safe space to, vent out their emotions in a much better, positive manner than just reacting out. The more they learn, and definitely you are going to be their role models. So remember to inculcate that in your own life as well, and it will help both of you. So now I think we can take a bit of questions if there are any. I will just open the tab and see if we have some unaddressed questions. Um, my 2-year-old is adamant. How do I say no without upsetting her? I think we mostly covered the question. What is the most common cause of tantrums in kids? We did it developmentally and we divided it. Why the kids throw tantrums? Again, I'll repeat it. The kids throw tantrums because somewhere, most importantly, it's their way of expressing their need to be seen, heard, and appreciated. And a lot of the little ones, the younger kids, the babies, the baby tantrum, it's mostly to do with expressing their need when they're feeling overwhelmed, hungry, or they have a dire need for sleep. I think it's really, really quintessential for them to express in some way. And I think especially for the little ones, they do it by these temper tantrums. So they are nothing but a cause, a reason for letting their emotions out. And we can definitely manage it better. We can teach them how to navigate through this journey and express their emotions more meaningfully, like we spoke about in the entire session. And my 2-year-old is adamant. How do I say no without upsetting her? Again, this is Rebecca. Rebecca, if you see, we also spoke about in the session that one, our children also need to learn that everything will not always come to them, and because it's just a way of life, it's just a rule of life, and we don't want our kids to learn it the hard way when they're actually grown up. So if we sow that seeds right from an early age, that whatever they want will be heard. However, it is not every time that whatever they desire or just comes to their mind, it will be addressed that very moment. So once we begin to establish these boundaries, have these discussions, have role plays, have stories around them, the kids understand this better. And you don't really need to say no to your child, like we spoke about, because no makes no sense to a child. It's just a blanketed statement that they have heard, or they always hear mummy. Whenever I want something, or I want it my way, mummy just says no. No, Krish, you're not. So they just learn it as a way of life, and sometimes then they also use it as a way of getting attention, and then that entire game of temper tantrums begin. So what is very important with temper tantrums especially is show them, tell them what is to be done, rather than with a no or what is not to be done. Often we end up find ourselves stuck in this cycle of telling no to a child or just highlighting what they have not done right. I think it's extremely important to shift the tables and let them see what is to be done correctly. Show it to your child every day in your actions, through your engagements and interactions. And someday, even if your child is upset, he might be upset today, but the more you practice with him, the more you mindfully take him through this, the better he will learn, he or she will learn. So I hope through the session, your questions have also been addressed. And always remember, prevent the no and show the kid, tell the kid what is to be done. Let's not highlight what they've not done right or what is not correct, but switch it to what is correct, what they really need to do or what they need to learn. It really makes a lot of difference for a child. This is what positive parenting is about. We've all learned for ages that it's very important to give punishment, to punish the child, because without punishment the child will not know what he's done wrong, and it's very important to highlight what he did wrong. I don't disagree with that, but there I just swapped the way for the child to see what is the right way of life. Because when he sees the right action, he automatically reflects. वो बच्चे को सब खुद ही समझ आ जाता है. And yet, if the child is young and he's struggling, highlight what is to be done, and through that medium, without saying a no, without highlighting what is wrong, but through the correct. So, for example, like I also shared in the session, that if the child is throwing things, breaking things, help him identify the cause and effect. That when I throw this, things are being dampened, and they are my favorite toys. What is to be done is I am to take care of my toys, even if I'm feeling angry. I can sit and talk to my toy, I can sit and share with mama. and I can express my emotions more comfortably. But when I break them, when I throw them, my favorite toys are being dampened. So I didn't even tell the child that, oh, you did so wrong, you are breaking it, you are throwing it. Yet, by showing the positive, by showing the right way, the child is conveyed the message. So I hope that helped understand your query. Any more questions? If we have, I'm open. Okay, so I believe that most of us have already had our queries addressed through the session. And if in any case you want to reach out, or if you find, other than this, also if you find your child still very, very overwhelmed, or more than usual, there's too much aggression, or there's too much reacting out, or there's too much emotional turmoil that's happening, there could be two reasons. One, that already things are in a lot of jiffy right now. There's so much that's changed for us and even for the child. So try doing that. Try soothing music, try calming him. But if you still feel it's been persisting for a very long time, you could reach out to a professional, you could reach out to your doctor, you could reach out to a child psychologist, a specialist like me, where we could discuss it further. So if you guys would like to reach out to me, because we've done everything through a child friendly manner and it on the paper. So here I have, here is my number where you could tring, and this is my email ID, which is Ahuja Ishani at gmail.com. So you could drop me a message. You could reach out to me on my phone number. I'm sharing it a little more for a little more seconds here for all parents to see. We can get connected. You can reach out to me. I'm also on BabyChakra. You can follow my profile on BabyChakra. And BabyChakra is a wonderful platform which is connecting all parents together and professionals together. You could also try reaching out to me over there. And I hope we remember to stay positive, we remember to stay calm. This is not a difficult thing. Our kids are not abnormal. There's no problem with them. It's just a part of their growing up. So let's look at it positively. The more positively we look at this situation of our children throwing temper tantrums and understanding it from their need to communicate, I think with that reference point, our way of reaching out and extending ourselves to the children will also improve. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Take care and bye bye.